Need-blind admission or admission without looking is a principle of accepting a student into university without considering their financial status. What is it for? To negate discrimination, educational institutions turn a blind eye to an applicant's financial situation when making a decision on admission. Candidates are evaluated purely on their academic achievements and their potential success in studying. Maintaining diversity, accepting students independently of their financial status. Universities try to create a more diverse and inclusive community. Such universities try to provide equal opportunities for education for all students, regardless of where they are socially. Financial support. Universities practicing need-blind admission promise to provide financial support to students in need. They implement scholarships, loans, or work-study jobs to help students pay for tuition and other expenses. What are these generous American universities? Of course, you're expecting from a list of universities that accept students with no money for tuition and life. That is practicing the aforementioned need-blind admission. So here they are: Harvard, Yale, Princeton, MIT, Amherst College. Now let's stop. Those are the very top units. We're not gonna get in there, is what you will say. Listen. Technically, all of the US state universities are need-blind, but in reality, they are financially limited. In practice, need-blind admission only works in the most prestigious and well-to-do private universities that have sponsorship support and receive donations. Besides need-blind admission, there are also need-aware admission. If you want to know more about universities practicing this kind of admission, like this video and don't forget to subscribe. Now let's continue. Need-aware admission is opposite in a sense that the student's financial status is considered. This means that when considering a student, universities may take into account whether they're able to pay for the tuition or not. Well, with the need-aware admission, universities may reject students who cannot afford them due to financial status, even if they have excellent academic results. So you'll ask me, does that mean such universities are only for the rich? Yes, and most unis are like this. But there are several things we should pay attention to. First, the average salary in the US in 2023 is $3,600 a month. Second, tuition fees for foreigners are often much higher. But if you're an American from the same state as the university, you'll essentially be paying pennies. For example, Southern Connecticut State University for a local is $11,000, but for a foreigner it's $25,000. Thus, if you're a Connecticut citizen with a regular wage, you can pay for a year of university in 3 months. And just like that, you've paid for another year. And you've probably heard about these scary student loans that many Americans get up to $500,000. Yeah, they do. But most of those loans are not that scary. If you look at the example of the Southern Connecticut State University, it's not that big of a problem for an average American to take out a $50,000 loan to cover 4 years of university. Many work part-time while studying and then, in a year or two of working with a degree, repay the loan. Let's get back to those in need. Out of several thousand American universities, some do offer financial aid programs for students with low income. They help pay for tuition and get a degree. There are also grants and scholarships which may help students cover their studying expenses. Although need-aware admission may not make students happy, but it helps universities with financial stability necessary to provide high-quality education. So, what universities practice need-aware admission? Let's call them not-so-generous universities. In general, need-aware admission can be practiced in a variety of universities depending on their financial policy, but normally it's practiced in universities with high tuition costs and limited financial resources. So, the list is Harvard, Yale, Princeton, MIT, Brown. Alright, you may have noticed that they're the same universities, the ones on the need-blind admission list. But it's the opposite admission practice. Why is that? Let me explain. A university might use both need-blind and need-aware admissions depending on the circumstances, such as commitment to diversity. Universities with strong commitment to socio-economic diversity tend to incline towards the need-blind policy, at least for a part of enrollment, to guarantee students' financial needs to be no obstacle for admission. Balancing priorities. Some universities combine both approaches. They might turn a blind eye to students' financial capabilities for the better part of the admission process, but later in the cycle admit only those who can pay themselves to make sure that they do not overrun their financial aid budget. External pressure, donations from graduates, public opinion rankings, all of that can influence admission policy. For example, financial aid for students can be an argument for the university and attract donations, but for that, significant financial support from organizations or individuals is required. State or nation policy. State universities may have requirements to financially support students living in the state, but have completely different requirements for foreign students. This leads to having like two admission systems in the same university.